And now for something completely different. A man with 3 buttocks. Well, now that I've got your attention, I would like to read you a portion of a book. I'm in chapter 7, page 157. It's the title, Too Political. What makes the perception of Christians in politics so difficult to address is that Christians themselves have a hard time agreeing. Well, they disagree not only about the issues, but also about the very nature of politics and the role that Christians ought to play. My goal, that's the author of the book, he's saying, my goal is to give Christians greater clarity about engaging the political sphere, as well as insight into how our efforts create a largely negative reputation for Christianity and how this affects friends and neighbors. A reputation for Christianity and how this affects friends and neighbors, I had to reiterate that. Reputation for Christianity and how it affects friends and neighbors. Well, I guess I read that once before. Anyway, I am trying to spur our thinking and engagement in appropriate ways and do not want to discourage Christ followers from participating in politics. Yet, as Christians, we have much to learn about engaging in the right way and for the right reasons. Based on the data we have been collecting for the last 3 years, well, this book was written in, I think it was '07. Based on the data, I believe we have to reconsider our strategies and approaches related to politics, or we risk losing appropriate forms of political influence and damaging our credibility in representing Jesus to outsiders. To address the deep challenges that are facing people in our nation around the world, Gabe and I, well, that's the two authors there, picture of them, have come up to the conclusion that being politically engaged is more important than ever. As I discuss in chapter 6, Christians should be known as engaged, informed, and on the leading edge, offering a sophisticated response to issues. Being engaged in politics is a way of doing just that. Of course, politics is not the only area of influence. It may not even be the most important, but politics does have a significant impact on our lives. The research we conduct at Barna, that's a fellow author here, consistently demonstrates that laws and legislation play an important role in creating social and moral boundaries. Well, we need a little of that today. Even though Americans may not always adhere to the rules and may gripe about the restrictions, you cannot change an individual's morality through legislation. But the reality is that laws deeply affect our culture and create social expectations for the people living in it. Political involvement, messy and confusing as it can be, is an important avenue of influence within our community, nation, and world. Christians should be motivated by faith in every dimension of life, and politics is no exception. Well, if it were only that simple. That's how it ended.